I'm
Again,
really
you
very
are watching Inside Look. This is Neil Mercado. Joining us this morning is former Senator Leila de Lima. Senator, how are
I'm
you?
really very I'm really very sorry about the bad connection. Well, the weather here is not good. It's
Mhm,
medyo
mhm,
windy because of the I is there an incoming LPA, I suppose?
mhm.
Windy and some mild rains. I don't know
Sa
why
ating
the
viewers,
connection.
former Senator de Lima is currently in Iriga City. Tama po ba?
Yes, in Iriga City.
Mhm,
Although there's an internet here connection, but it's
mhm,
not
mhm.
it's a bit I don't know what's happening. So
Some things don't change,
let's just make
attorney. Some things don't change
let's
kahit
just make
mabagal pa
do.
rin ang internet ng Pilipinas.
Oo nga.
But Attorney De
Just
Lima,
do
let's talk
that.
about
Yeah.
your remaining case. So you still have one remaining case. Ito yung binigyan kayo ng bail. Tama po ba?
Yes. Out of the
Mhm,
three
mhm,
cases, two have been dismissed already. One was, the demurrer was granted, so
mhm,
it's tantamount to acquittal. The second was acquittal, and then this third case, I was granted bail after the bail hearings were concluded. So it's not yet over.
mhm,
Although the
yes.
prosecution has completed its presentation of evidence, they're about to file already their formal offer of exhibits or evidence to
Mhm,
which we intend to file or we were required to file comment and opposition, after which the court shall resolve the same. And we do have plans. We intend, my legal team intends to file a demurrer to evidence,
mhm,
because if it's granted, then the case is all over. If it's granted, it's again another acquittal. Then
mhm.
my liberty now, which is only provisional, would become permanent. So
Do you
we are
see your
certainly
case, Attorney
hoping.
De Lima, ending in an acquittal?
Oh, yes, we have been very hopeful and confident about it, just like the two other cases, because these cases from the very start are really just fabricated and manufactured using uh, witnesses that most of the witnesses gave false testimonies. And with the granting of the, well, with the granting of the bail, and with the very exhaustive treatment discussion by the court on the merits of our application of bail, then we have been our confidence has been doubled in
Mhm,
terms of looking forward to the grant of our demurrer, which, as I said, is tantamount to acquittal. And if it's not granted, then we have no choice but to present our defense evidence, and we will be hoping also for an acquittal. So this is the last
mhm,
case. I do hope that it will be granted, so that everything is done.
mhm,
No further wastage of time and the uh, precious resources of the state. Because every time I attend meetings, you can see that I'm with lots of escorts. So these are wastage of the resources of government and the time
mhm,
of the court, the resources and the time of the court itself, and my legal defense team. So
mhm,
that is our expectation.
mhm. Attorney De Lima,
Thank
one
you.
thing I'm most curious of is yung reflection ninyo during your time in detention. So you were in detention for almost 7 years. Attorney De Lima, for sure you've been asked this
Yes.
question as well, but at one point in your life, you were the Justice Secretary. Basically, you were in charge of the justice system here in the Philippines. But that very same justice system that you once handled, you believe, was used against you in this particular case. So, any reflection on the justice system, on the state of justice system here in the Philippines? As
Okay.
someone who
Well,
was
at
once the
first,
helm of the DOJ, and as one who believes, that the justice system was used against you.
it was doubly tough and painful for me to
Mhm,
see the justice system being used, being manipulated just to fulfill the whims and caprices of one vindictive person, using practically the entire machinery of the state. So it was painful because I was really working hard in terms of really making our justice system work, uh, when I was a justice secretary, and that is precisely also always the aspiration and aim of every new justice secretary, how the
Mhm.
justice system would work better and more effectively and efficiently and fairly. The dispensation of justice without fear or favor. And now I found myself to be the very victim
Mhm.
of the opposite of the workings of the justice system. But even with that reality, I never lost hope that it will be
Mhm.
through the same justice system that I would be freed and vindicated. And that's why we had to bear with all of this. We have to go through this ordeal, how no matter how painstaking this is. I attended each and every hearing. We had to file all the appropriate pleadings. We have to go through the appropriate procedures whenever certain important motions are denied by the trial court. We had to go to the higher court, to the Court of Appeals, for example. So sabi ko sa team ko, let's just go go through this system. Let's
Mhm.
not let's not work at all outside of this system, because it is the very same system, even if at first it was the system that landed me in that situation there, in my detention. Now, it is also the very system that would redeem me through this successive legal successes, in legal triumphs in my cases.
Mhm.
We're
Senator
seeing
De
it now.
Lima, do you see a flaw in the justice system? I remember interviewing Senator Ontiveros before regarding hazing case. Tinanong ko siya noon, why do you think this keeps on happening? Meron na tayong mga previous cases regarding hazing, yet these things continue to happen. And we ended up doon sa idea ng slow justice system in the Philippines. Because even if justice is given, if mabagal, mangyayari at mangyayari pa rin yan. So do you see a flaw in the Philippine justice system?
Is always in the execution of the law. And
Mhm.
insofar as the judiciary is concerned, is always about also the execution of their very mandate of delivering justice fairly, without fear or favor. Uh, but and I always believe that for as long as the judiciary's independence is maintained, is respected, then it can be expected to really perform its mandate well, because what gives it legitimacy, what gives the judiciary legitimacy, is its independence. Without independence, then its very reason for
Mhm.
being or for existence would be nil, or
Mhm.
practically
Mhm.
nil. And we see that in what happened in my third case, that finally, after years of trying to attain bail, at least at the very least bail, in my third remaining case, now we see that this judge had the courage to really do the right thing, examining thoroughly the entire records of the case, because this is a new judge who took over from the previous handling judge who denied my application for bail. So I
Mhm.
feel that because of that respect for independence, and that is why this new handling judge is also able to fulfill its mandate properly, as would be expected.
Mhm. Attorney De Lima, I'm asking you about the state of the Philippine justice system because mayroong mga nagsasabi na ito daw pag-grant ng bail sa inyo is proof that the justice system here in the Philippines is independent and working. For instance, I'll cite Senator Amy Marcos, who said na hindi na kailangan mag-intervene ng ICC here in the Philippines because if anything, yung pag-grant sa inyo ng bail is proof that the justice system here in the Philippines is independent. What can you say about that mindset?
Let's try to differentiate. No, let's differentiate the the realities about my case and also about the ICC's intervention. As I said, because of that respect for the independence of the judiciary, and our going through all of these processes, now I was able to, at least provisionally, also I'm able to attain justice by the grant of bail. Now we see that as a justice system working fine, and perhaps there are other cases that we can say that the justice system is truly working. Although in many other cases, I don't think we can ever say that, because there are still a lot of detainees, even with minor offenses, rotting in jail. So in many cases, I don't think we can ever say that the justice system is truly working, but we see the efforts there of the Supreme Court. We see the efforts there of the coordinating council with DOJ and even with the DILG. All those programs that they have come up with, that they have initiated in terms of trying to speed up the cases. Now, how about ICC? We cannot blame the ICC from interfering, because they do not see that there is a working system, domestic mechanism of accountability insofar as the cases of the killings under Duterte's war on drugs. Because no agency in government, no office, no authority, no local or domestic authority is investigating those that are seen to be, the language of the Rome Statute says, those with the highest responsibility of those crimes cognizable by the ICC. Wala. Yes, they have told us about a number of cases that have been investigated. DOJ has announced that they have been investigating that, and we have seen also a couple of convictions, one or two convictions about policemen implicated in those drug war killings. But that is clearly insufficient. Now, how about those at the higher level, those behind the killings, those in ordinary parlance, the masterminds of these killings? Nobody is investigating them. Not Congress, not Ombudsman, uh, not NBI, not PNP, CIDG, or any other investigative unit of the government. So can we blame now the ICC? Because the complementarity principle says that, yes, if there are investigations, then no need, because complementary lang dapat sila. Papasok sila kung walang gumagana na mga investigasyon dito. So let's set up that dichotomy between the situation now with my case as Exhibit A and the situation of the ICC, and especially with the attitude of government not to cooperate. Although I think we see some changes there. I'm aware of that resolution in the House about the House filed, I think, by the Kabayan Bloc, that urging the Philippine government to cooperate with the ICC probe. So I do hope that this administration will rethink their position, both in terms of restoring or assuming membership in the ICC, and also in terms of cooperating with the ICC.
So you
that's my
believe,
answer to
Attorney,
them.
that the Marcos administration should cooperate with the ICC, because the administration has been firm on its stand that the Philippine government will not cooperate with the ICC with regard to the investigation of the war on drugs campaign of the former administration.
Yes, that's why I'm really hoping
Mhm.
that they will change their position, because it's all about, again, justice. Kailan pa maghihintay yung mga biktima o yung mga pamilya ng mga biktima ng mga drug war killings na wala naman tayo nakikita dito any movement about that, of holding responsible or accountable those with the highest responsibility for those crimes.
Mhm. In the middle of this case, Attorney De Lima, is former President Rodrigo Duterte, who you believe is also behind doon sa inyong mga naging kaso. Any message for him? Because President Duterte, former President Duterte, has reacted on your comment that you're willing to help the ICC. I'm quoting One News here, a One News report here. They said, former President Duterte said in an interview with SMNI, magsama-sama na kayo ng ICC, Iha. He's referring to you. Any care to comment on that?
Am I a human rights violator? Am I a killer, let alone a mass murderer? So, siguro ang ibig sabihin niyang magsama-sama is gusto lang talaga niyang may maging makasama siya in that lonely cell in the ICC. So I'm not sure whether it was serious in saying that, but what in heaven's name would be the basis of me being also implicated in that case?
Meron po ba
Siya
kayong
lang.
message for former President Duterte now that you have been released from detention?
Baka nami-miss lang niya po ako.
May mensahe po ba kayo for former President Duterte?
Wag niyo na pong naisin yon. Just face the music. We all know about you being behind those killings. We all know about you being behind my persecution. So it's reckoning time.
It's reckoning time. Let's delve into that, Senator De Lima. What do you mean by that? Are you planning to file charges, I guess, against those who you believe are behind your detention?
That's in the pipeline. My legal team has been in serious discussion about that. It's almost a certainty, or it's even really a certainty that that would be initiated. It's just a matter of determining what would be the proper timeline for that, and what would be the proper courses of action or the exact cases to be filed against him and others who are responsible in my persecution. Yes.
Last couple of questions, Attorney De Lima. Yesterday, you met with former Vice President Leni Robredo. Can you disclose po kung ano yung napag-usapan ninyo, and how do you see, ano po yung tingin nyo sa opposition moving forward? Because as you know, in a couple of years, midterm elections na po ulit. How do you see the opposition moving forward now that we're under the Marcos administration?
Well, forgive me, but I'm not yet comfortable talking about those political issues. Now, I myself would like to really see for myself what is the exact status of the opposition. And
Meron po bang planong meeting ang mga opposition leaders now that you have been released?
Wala pa akong alam, but of course I'll be expecting that na one of these days magkikita-kita rin talaga kami, and I'm not sure whether plans would be discussed because ako, on my part, I'm not yet pondering on that. Wala pa sa mindset ko, whether it's 2025 or any other subsequent elections, because I have yet really to determine, and I need a lot of thinking about whether I'll be going back to public service,
Just to
especially
clarify po, Attorney De
uh,
Lima, no, kasama po dyan sa pinag-iisipan ninyo at hindi, actually wala pa po kayong, you're not pondering on it yet, kung tatakbo po kayo for the 2025 elections. Tama po ba yun?
yes, yes. I have so many other priorities. Fixing my life, building all over again my life, which they so denigrated.
Ano po ang sabi sa inyo ni Vice
So
President Lenny kahapon during your meeting?
catch up, ano lang yon. Talagang
Catch
kinumusta
up.
niya ako. Although, yes, although she has visited me several times when I was in detention, but she really just wanted to see me. Yesterday, nagkainan kami, ang sasarap ng mga pina-prepare niyang pagkain
Mhm.
para sa amin, me and my group. And then she asked, oh, what are you going to do? Pagbalik mo sa Manila, sabi ko, I have a lot of things to fix. The things, all of those things that were brought back to my home, yung mga documents, mga paper, books, and others. And of course, I'm going to fix my room, and then I'm going to renew mga expired IDs ko,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
also passports, because mga nag-expire na ho lahat yun, including driver's license. Ganun, yun na muna mga aasikasuhin ko. And of course,
Mhm.
I have to make up for lost time with my children. They're there in Manila, and
Mhm.
my grandchildren, although they got to see me naman, my two sons once in a while I was in detention. But I have to focus on them, and also I'm trying to fix my schedule. Many invitations actually for get-togethers, for small meetings, for small celebrations, and also speaking engagements.
Mhm.
Mahira, yan ang problema ko. If at all that I would be able to devote some free private time for myself and my family.
Mhm. Attorney De Lima, my last question, and a lot of people are actually curious to know your answer on this one. Who is Leila De Lima after detention? You spent
It's still the same.
almost 7 years uh, in detention. Now that you're free, who is Leila De Lima?
It's still Leila de Lima. The same Leila de Lima na nakita ng mga tao before I was detained. The Leila de Lima who would really no holds barred in expressing her thoughts, in calling out various injustices and abuses of powers that be. The Leila de Lima that pursue um, relentlessly causes of truth, justice, accountability, human rights, rule of law, and democracy. It's still Leila de Lima na hindi kaagad nawawalan ng, hindi kaagad na paghihinaan ng loob. My courage and determination are still there. I can even say that I remained strong while in detention, and even stronger. And now I'm stronger, especially now that I'm free. Makakaasa po kayo, it's still the same Leila de Lima, which my persecutors and oppressors failed to break or to destroy. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Attorney De Lima. I hope the next time na I get to speak with you, in person naman po. In-person
Yes,
interview naman po
yes,
sana tayo next time.
certainly, Neil. Thank again,
Mhm.
pasensya na dun sa mga interruptions kanina because of the technical difficulties here. But
No problem po.
thank you. Have a good day.
Mhm. Maraming
Thank you.
salamat po. That is former Senator Leila De Lima, and this has been your Inside Look. I'm Neil Mercado. Thanks for watching.